Comptroller. For the benefit of this public hearing, could you, as a financial expert, explain to the public an amount of 60,300 that was paid as per the Auditor General Report 2007-2008 that have no supported document that were paid off to you and other people. Will you comment on that?
Sorry, sir, would you repeat your question?
My question is, as a financial expert and as controller of the National Oil Company, as per the Auditor General Report, there were expenditure made between the period of 2006 to 2008. I have no evidence supported document with respect to that both fee. You paid $35,000 for both fee, and there was no supported document of $13,700 in 2006, and in 2007 and 2008 there was a total expenditure of $53,500, and of which $46,700 were not supported document. And you being a financial expert, could you explain? Will you give us why you as controller, why do you expect government fund or local money without any documentary evidence?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. Honorable, I assure you, I pay no monies from the company without authorization.
Say that.
I assure you, I pay no monies out of the company without authorization. My duty as a financial controller is to follow instructions and the rules given by the Vice President for Finance. Instructions for payments come through the Vice President for Finance. There were times, I guess, when the payments came on instruments other than the normal routine. For instance, on a transmittal, when I get instruction on a transmittal from my Vice President or the person of the company, I implement. So you have to refer that question to the Vice President for Finance at that time.
No, but Mr. Reed,
Yes.
you are the controller. Your job is to adequately advise your boss or your bosses that, in my opinion, I think this is not the right thing to do. Can we do it this way? Did you do that? Because as per the Auditor General Report, 2006, you spent $13,700 over any documentary evidence. 2007, 2008, you also expended $46,700, totaling $60,300. So, because I'm the president of NOCAL, I get down on a transmitter saying, Mr. Reed, please pay $35,000 or $50,000 you just paid. Is that what you're telling the hearing?
That's what the auditor's report tell you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. It did happen sometimes. And I assure you, I don't pay funds. I'm the conduit for the payment of funds. The responsibility for payment of funds in the company and in my department lies with the Vice President for Finance. I am not the Vice President for Finance. And if you see my terms of reference, there's no indication that the Vice Management or the Vice President regarding matters of finance for the company. That responsibility is left to the Vice President for Finance.
So because the Pac President sent an instruction to you to pay this amount, you just went ahead and you also intentionally to your subordinate to pay the money. Is that what you're telling us?
That is correct.
And
That is correct.
but in my opinion, as a financial expert, I think you do injustice to yourself and to the institution because you did not properly advise your boss or your bosses with regard to spending money. Because obviously, I know you be at the back of your mind that one day you have no evidence. So just be. Maybe I need to send you one communication that you pay me 200,000 tomorrow.
But you're not the vice president of the company or the president. So
I could be.
look at all.
I'm saying maybe because maybe I'm the vice president. And I just send you a transmittal slip, say pay 200,000. You will just pay no justification, no evidence, no documentary evidence for what the money is being paid for. And you just go ahead to pay. That's my question.
Well, as the auditor just said, they work the same way they have. That's it.
Yeah, but he's going to a place.
And when it comes to the
He's going to take a hearing.
Hello. The questions you answered the question already.
Yes, sir.
This is a follow-up. As a financial controller, as Napoli was saying, there has to be a cycle of transaction. As a financial controller, there has to be a cycle of transaction. Payment is there the foundation aspect of it. There must be transaction must exist. And in that existence of the transaction, there must be obligations established by the transaction. You as a financial controller, is that transaction that you judge that indeed yes, there is an obligation on the part of the car. Not because you are bossing or paying anything. I'm worried about even if you get for the last message, you must say there must be an opinion, you catch on paper. Document sent to you will indicate you your expert opinion that whether there is an obligation on the part of the local. But to say before your bosses are saying that get paid, then you must say, even though there is no obligation on the part of the local.
I never said that. This is what I'm saying. The Auditor General's point is that the procedure for that payment was not proper. I did not say local didn't have an obligation. And I did not say that when I received that transmittal that other procedures are not put in place. They were. The issue here is that the origination of that mandatory.
The question put to you is that you as a financial expert controller, how do you go about decide whenever you are supposed to strong you? That's what he said.
Then we receive an instruction and then we follow a procedure.
Whether it's a liability on the part of the car you pay or not, whether it's a liability on the part of the car or not you pay.
I did not say that.
I know.
And I'm there. The other one, you have budgeted amount. Okay.
Witness, Mr. Witness, please pay attention to the witness information.
Okay, I just want to comment on what he just said. What you are witnessing here today is what happened mostly across government controllers. Most government controllers are very weak. In most government institutions, the controllers take orders just from their superior. And when you have weak internal control system, these things are prevalent because there's no policy manual to guard transaction and for people to behave the way they're supposed to. So somebody will come, a minister or somebody, a director that above the president will just say something, and then especially where they have their own operational funds and they have their own budget. So this means that, let's say, the PSC has to take a greater look at public operations to ensure that, let's say, the financial management system there is improved. This is prevalent across government, both in public corporations and within large ministries and agencies. Controllers, most controllers are very weak. I just want to make this comment.
Thank you very much. A follow-up, Senator Asin.
Yeah. Mr. Chair, and members of the Joint Committee witnesses, the Auditor General, I was a little bit disappointed briefly from the comment of the Controller being the financial expert Fortunately, he served as Comptroller General of Liberia. I succeeded him. So, and I saw the work he did at the Ministry of Finance as an expert, putting financial records to play when I got there. But the explanation today, I want for us to have a conversation on this. The first thing is the Comptroller he's the Chief Financial Officer, a technician who's supposed to do this, do money management in terms of expenditure, in terms of the budget. He has clear oversight on it, not the big guys. He's not a withdrawing clerk that you just get slip to, he runs to the bank and just bring the money. He's supposed to give you a financial report and then advise management as to the trend of the budget, whether the budget will run into deficit in the near end. He has to advise. And the internal control mechanism, he's supposed to have a hands on the internal control mechanism. If the statute that put you in that position is not specific, but as a professional person, you needed to sit, do your analysis and say, management, please take note that all of these things are subject to investigation in the future, now and in the future. But for us to say by transmittal, the controller receives transmittal and then he dispenses, it's so worrisome though. We need a more clarification on this thing and try to strengthen NOCAL on this explanation. Because you got a lot of financial people here. And if you say this, then we have a problem. So please provide clarity on your own explanation. You say, what is your function there?
Chairman and members of the visit, I think I was misunderstood.
Okay.
There were instances where the documentation originally didn't appear to be adequate. But of course, when it got to our section, we had to make sure we implemented all the rules and regulations. But that sort of thing, that we have curtailed. And now that we're strengthening our internal control, and we have a financial policy manual, we're working in a better fashion now. But we do have documentations, even if they say transmittal, when it's transmittal, we have to approve certain financial documents before implementing.
So that should be considered, the past should be considered as a collateral damage.
No,
You have gone through transformation now, you have set up the system, and for the past 2-3 years, I think you have picked up now the internal control system is active as compared to before. Everybody running through the learning curve. Is that what you're saying?
yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. I have a question to the former co-chair. I hope he does not evade my question the second time around. The question has to do with the unauthorized purchase of vehicle for the board chair. My question to you, is there any provision in the NOCAL Act?
Can I have a seat, please?
Or is there any provision in all the policies available to you that grant the board chair to approve the purchase of a vehicle for the chairman of the board? Did that meet your approval?
I've met that. The mayor has succeeded. I had a pickup. The pickup was trying to work with me. I give it to a staff because he needed a car more than I did. And when there was money available, the board approved a vehicle for me. And you see the policy.
can you point out to that person, or can you provide any evidence?
The board passed a resolution based on what I explained to you in the board of pickup.
Now, is there any precedence?
That's why I'm telling you, my successor had a pickup. I inherited the pickup from him. But at that time, the car was in a tough situation. They could not afford a pickup. I took the pickup and turned it over to the VP for technical affairs, for technical afford a pickup.
The question is, your position is not an operational position. Did you need a pickup?
I did not need a pickup. I have my own vehicles.
Why did you approve the purchase of the pickup?
The board approved the pickup and I used it. I used it.
Is there any precedent by any board of autonomous agencies in Liberia where those boards purchase pickups for their chairpersons?
Yeah, I'm sure that the precedent where board chairman had pickup. I remember as a young man, the late lady Alexis was chairman of the board of LEC. And he had a Jeep. I'm sure there's several other persons. And I inherited
In a contemporary situation, is there any precedence?
I inherited a pickup from my predecessor. I turned the pickup over to the people because they had no need for it. Because I had my own vehicle. When they were forced to deliver, the board approved a pickup.
I'm not talking about when you inherited. What was purchased under your chairmanship?
Yes, the board approved a pickup.
And when did that pickup now?
Oh, I bought the pickup with her.
Huh?
Yes,
You bought the pickup?
yes,
From whom?
from the company.
Is there any evidence that you bought it?
What?
Is there any evidence that you can give to this panel?
Yes.
Okay, I think we can elevate that into evidence. Can you give us a 10 sign for that?
May I ask a question? Before NOCAL sold the pickup to you, what was the lifespan of the pickup?
I cannot sit down here. We're required to the documents.
When was the pickup bought?
Where?
When was the pickup bought? The pickup.
That please don't make me lie to you because I want to go. Let us look at the documents and we'll be able to give it to you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hello?
Yeah. The age you want to.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to clarify that the purchase of the pickup was irregular transaction. Yeah, because before you dispose of any asset, you have to set up an asset disposal committee. You have to write the Minister of Finance to get permission, and then you have to go through the procurement process as required by law. And there's no evidence that any of those were done. Thank you.
You can't comment on that?
Can I comment on it? Because when the pickup was sold to me, I was no longer part of it. So I cannot comment on that.
Okay, but the controller, photo reads,
Yes, sir.
that brings combines the control of the fixed assets. I think everybody understands the control of the fixed assets. You want to comment on that?
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, as the Auditor General mentioned, we did have some deficiencies in the department. But as it stands today, we have remedied the situation and we do now have our control of fixed assets. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,